Hello everyone, welcome to the third lecture of viscous flow. Now, in last two lectures, we have gone through flow through pipes. In that particular topic, we have gone through velocity profile, shear stress profile, pressure drop, and we have seen one numerical on it. Now today, we will going to study about flow between two parallel plates. So, this is a diagram of flow between two plates. Now this is plate 1, this is plate 2. Okay, and flow is happening from this direction. As we have already discussed in pipe flow, to calculate velocity profile, shear stress profile, we will take a control volume A, B, C, D. Okay. So before going to take a control volume, let's see what are the assumptions we are taking for calculation. So our first assumption is flow is laminar and one dimensional. Okay, that is x direction. So flow is happening only in one direction, that is from this place to this place. Okay, and the direction is this. Second is velocity is varying only in one direction, that is y direction. Okay, so velocity is only varying in this direction, y direction. There is no velocity variation from here to here or anywhere. The third is only frictional losses are there in the flow. Okay, so whatever losses are there, head losses, those losses are only because of friction losses. There are no other losses that are occurring. Fourth is the flow is in steady state. Now flow is in steady state condition, otherwise we cannot calculate whatever property we want to calculate. So we are taking that the flow is in steady state condition. Now we have taken one control volume A, B, C, D, and if you can see in the 3D, it looks like a rectangular. And the forces acting on this are, first is in this direction. Okay, on plane AB, force is acting is pressure force, and we have already discussed that pressure force is equal to P into area. Okay, now area is rectangular area, this is dy. Okay, and we are taking that the depth of this particular part is 1. Okay, 1 unit, so our area becomes delta y into 1. Similarly, from this direction, pressure into area. Okay, here also the depth of this is 1, and the height of this particular CD is delta y. Okay, so our pressure force in this direction becomes P plus del P by del X into delta X into area. The area is delta y into 1. Now here one change is there. Okay, now in previous we have seen that the area was circular. Okay, the surface area was circular, so because of that the shear force was acting only in one direction. Now here the surface area is in rectangle shape. Okay, so due to this, what happens here, at the top your shear stress will be in this direction. Yes, but at the bottom your shear stress will be in opposite direction. Why? Because shear stress always acts in a couple. Okay, now in the case of tube, what happened that the outer surface area was only in the calculation, the inner surface area was not in the calculation. Okay, because we didn't need that inner surface area, but here due to rectangular shape, shear force is in couple. Okay, and that is affecting the flow of the fluid. Okay, so we will have shear stress in this direction. Okay, and also in this direction. We can calculate shear force is equal to shear stress into area. Okay, so this is become delta x into 1, area becomes. Similarly, at this top the shear stress becomes tau plus d tau by dx into dy into area. The area is delta x into 1. So with this in mind, let's calculate shear stress. Okay, now to calculate shear stress distribution, let's take a control volume ABCD in plate at a distance y from the bottom having thickness delta y. Okay, so we are calculating this depth from here. Here we are taking that y is equal to 0, and we are taking here as y is equal to entire thickness t. At this particular height we are taking our control volume, okay, of thickness delta y. Okay, so the force acting on this control volumes are pressure forces, okay, on the side, and shear forces on the surface. So we have already discussed that this is a steady flow condition, and for that your control volume will have zero total forces on them. So with this we can write this down: FPAB plus FT tau AD is equal to FPCD plus FP tau BC. When we expand this, we can say that final we will get del P by del X is equal to del tau by del Y. Okay, now we will further simplify this, okay, but after finding out some other things first. Okay, so when we simplify this, we get del P by del X is equal to del tau by del Y. Now this is not a solution of it, but we will keep this as it is. Let's calculate velocity distribution. Now simply we have already taken this in our previous lecture, that shear stress is equal to mu du by dy. Okay, here we will put, in this equation we will put value of mu du by dy. Okay, and when we put this, we will get dp by dx is equal to mu del square u by del y square. And if we integrate this two times, then we will get our velocity u. Now this velocity will be a local velocity. Okay, so first we will integrate with respect to y, and by integrating with respect to y we will get del u by del y is equal to 1 by mu dp by dx y plus c1. Okay, this is our integration constant c1, and we will again integrate this. So when we again integrate this, u is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x y square by 2 plus c1y plus c2. Okay, so this is our local velocity u. Now in this equation we have one constant c1 and one constant c2. Yes, so we need two boundary condition. Okay, to solve two constant of equation we need two boundary condition. Okay, and the first boundary condition, so to calculate c1 and c2, let's put boundary conditions. So first boundary condition is y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0. Now let's observe here, your y is equal to 0. Okay, and at this y your velocity is also 0. Why? Because it's a wall. Okay, and on wall your velocity is 0. Similarly, at y is equal to t, here also there is wall. Okay, and on wall the velocity will be 0. So at this wall your velocity will also be 0. So we have two boundary condition: y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0, y is equal to t. At that point u will be 0, hence c2 becomes 0. When we put boundary condition 1, we get c2 is equal to 0, and when we put boundary condition 2, we get c1 is equal to minus 1 by 2 mu del p by del x into t. So we have our integration constant c2 and c1. Let's put this constant into our equation 1. So we get local velocity u is equal to minus 1 by 2 mu del p by del x ty minus y square. So this is our velocity equation. Now our shear stress equation is equal to mu del u by del y. So if we put u, this local velocity u, in the shear stress equation, we can get what is the shear stress. So now let's put this value of u into shear stress equation. So by putting this and solving this equation, we get tau is equal to minus 1 by 2 del p by del x t minus 2y. So this is our shear stress equation, and this is our local velocity equation. Understood? Now let's move on to the next topic, that is velocity and shear stress distribution. Now we have already calculated shear stress is equal to minus 1 by 2 del p by del x t minus 2y. Okay, now again let's compare it with the equation of line. Then y is equal to mx plus a. So y is equivalent to tau and x is equivalent to tau. So this equation also represents equation of line. So our shear stress distribution will become linear. Okay. Similarly, our velocity distribution, this u is equal to minus 1 by 2 mu del p by del x ty minus y square. And when we compare it with the equation of parabola, we again get y square is equivalent to y square and x is equivalent to u. So this again represents equation of parabola similar as flow in the pipe. Yes. So with this we can say that shear stress distribution and velocity distribution is same in both the cases, flow through pipe and flow between two parallel plates. So this concludes our first uh, set, that shear stress distribution and velocity distribution. So now let's move on to the next, average velocity. Now again I am again repeating this that the calculation procedure is, I am again repeating this that calculation procedure is exactly the same, only thing changing is the geometry. Our geometry was circular in that cylindrical in pipe flow. Now here our geometry is rectangular, only geometry is changing, our procedure is same. Okay, so let's talk about average velocity. The average velocity can be calculated by dividing the discharge of the fluid across the section by the area of the pipe. Okay, so for a smaller elemental area, let's assume that the discharge is dq. Okay, and our total discharge is q. So dq is equal to velocity at the distance y into area of the elemental ring. So this gives us del q is equal to u du, uh, dq is equal to u dy into 1. When we put equation of u into it, we can get dq is equal to minus 1 by 2 mu del p by del x ty minus y square dy. And when we integrate this from 0 to t, okay, we can get total discharge. And after solving this equation, we can get q is equal to minus 1 by 12 mu pi del p by del x t cube. And procedure is exactly same as of your pi flow. So we are going a little bit quickly. Okay, so average velocity will become u bar is equal to q by area. So u bar is equal to minus 1 by 12 mu pi del p by del x t cube divided by t into 1. Now t is thickness and this 1 is depth. Okay, so we can get u bar is equal to minus 1 by 12 mu del p by del x into t square. Now let's calculate relationship between maximum and average velocity. Now in order to find out the relationship, we have to find out what is the maximum velocity. So we all know that maximum velocity occurs at the center of the pipe. So at y is equal to t by 2, your velocity will be maximum. And if you put this into equation, you get u max is equal to minus 1 by 8 mu del p by del x t square. And when we take the ratio of u max by u bar, you will get 3 by 2. So your u max is equal to 1.5 times your u bar. Okay, so with this in mind, let's move on to the next topic, that is pressure drop. Now pressure drop, for to calculate pressure drop, let's take two sections, section 1 and section 2. This is, let's assume that this is the entry of the pipe and this is the exit of the pipe, and the length of the pipe is, total length of the pipe is L. So to find out pressure drop, let's take the average velocity. Okay, and when we rearrange this equation of average velocity, we get minus del p by del x is equal to 12 mu u bar by t square. And the procedure is same, so let's integrate above equation with respect to x. Okay, between section 1 and section 2. So we get p1 minus p2 is equal to 12 mu u bar t square into x2 minus x1. Now x2 minus x1 will be equal to L. Okay, Okay, so this becomes P1 minus P2 is equal to 12 mu U bar L by T square, and if we divide this by rho g, we get head loss. Okay, now let's move on to the last topic of today, that is numerical. Okay, so to calculate numerical, use these equations. Okay, and our steps are same. Okay, first collect all data. Okay, convert all this data into SI units, calculate Reynolds number, and if it falls in the region of laminar flow, use these equations. Determine the pressure gradient. Second, the shear stress at two horizontal parallel plates, and third, the discharge per meter width for laminar flow of oil with maximum velocity of 2 meter per second between two horizontal parallel fixed plate which are 100 mm apart, given that mu is equal to 2.4525 Newton second per meter square. So here we have been given maximum velocity, okay, that is 2 meter per second. Second, the thickness between these two plates is given, okay, that is 100 mm, and viscosity is given. So just convert this into SI unit, okay, that will be 0.1 meter. So let's find out first pressure gradient. Now for finding out pressure gradient, let's use maximum velocity equation. Why? Because maximum velocity is given. So if we use this, you can directly get what is the pressure gradient. So by rearranging this, you can get del P by del X is equal to minus 8 mu U max by T square, and that will give us our pressure gradient. Similarly, second is shear stress at walls. So to find out shear stress at wall, let's take shear stress equation. Tau is equal to minus 1 by 2 mu dP by dx T minus 2y. Now here we have to put y is equal to 0. Yes. So at wall we can get shear stress tau is equal to 1 by minus 1 by 2 mu dP by dx T. That will give us shear stress as 192.6 Newton per meter square. And the last is the discharge per meter width for a laminar flow. So discharge per meter width. Okay, so for 1 unit of width, what is the discharge? So discharge equation is velocity into area. So let's take mean velocity into area. So to find out mean velocity, just use the equation U max by U bar is equal to 2 by 3, our mean velocity, and when we put this into equation, we get 0.133 meter cube per second. So thank you guys for joining me for the third lecture. We'll meet you again for the fourth lecture. Thank you very much.